With recent rains here across southern Alberta, ski hills like Castle Mountain have already received their first drop of snow, and with skiers are already dreaming about hitting the slopes and carving lines through the powder. No ski hill experience is complete without seeing the volunteers of the Canadian Ski Patrol. To talk more about the work of these volunteers at Castle Mountain and beyond, we are joined by Tim Fyfe. He is the president of the Canadian Ski Patrol Southern Alberta Zone Association. Tim, welcome to Bridge City News.
Thank you.
Now, can you start by telling us a bit about the Southern Alberta chapter of the Canadian Ski Patrol and its role in the community?
Yeah, sure. So the Canadian Ski Patrol has been in existence since 1941. We are coast to coast. There's over 225 Canadian Ski Patrol ski areas, and Castle Mountain, where we currently patrol, is just past Pincher Creek there, and we've been patrolling there since 1968.
Wow. And what specific skills will participants be learning or improving during their training periods?
So some of the key responsibilities of our patrol, contributing to safety on the slopes, inspection, sweeps, ongoing observations. So we'll do a sweep in the morning, and then we'll do a sweep in the evening just to make sure that the ski hill is safe for the participants before they even come on the ski hill. And then we do a sweep at night so that we make sure there's nobody left on the ski hill that might be injured. We look for factors on the slopes to make sure that other people can take care of those. Like, so if the grooming isn't the greatest, we can help smooth out those things and promote some safety on the ski hill. We provide first aid. It's at an advanced level, we call it. So we call it advanced first aid because it might take an hour for the ambulance to arrive. And then we have to also be able to transport patients in a toboggan down a hill safely. And then once we get them down the hill safely, we take them into what we call a little facility where we wait for either the ambulance, or maybe it's minor enough that just their family or somebody can take them, and then we might recommend that they go to the hospital if it's that severe. If it's just a minor injury, then we just say, hey, this is how you should take care of it when you get home.
Sounds like this is a pretty demanding role. So what are some of the key qualities or skills that you look for in a ski patrol volunteer?
Actually, we look for people that are at about an intermediate level of a skier or snowboarder. So they're able to ski like the double black diamonds. They're able to ski the whole mountain, but we don't expect them to be an expert skier. We can work with that as long as they're at an intermediate level. Somebody that enjoys the outdoors. And then what we do is it's an 80-hour advanced training course. So it's 4 full weekends that we train them. And we use the Polytechnic facility in Lethbridge here to do that. And then once they get out to the hill, we have more training. So once they get to the hill, we have to teach them. We have to see what their skiing ability is and their boarding ability if they're a boarder and a snowboarder. And then we also have to look at once we've assessed what level they're at, if they're at that intermediate level or if they're just a little bit below it. If they're a little bit below that level, what we can do is we can recommend that, hey, thanks for coming out. You need to go get some lessons, go get some professional lessons, and maybe come back to us next year. So we can kind of like see where they're at. And if we think we can work with them, then we go that step further and we start training them with the toboggan. And we have our own in-house people on our ski patrol that do that. They're certified to do that. They're all levels of our Canadian Ski Patrol. We stay at a high standard of first aid, and we also stay at a high standard to meet up with the ski areas. So we ski around with what we call the Pro Patrol, and then we're the volunteers on the weekend.
Okay. And what are the benefits to being a member of the Canadian Ski Patrol?
I would say benefits are not only having that advanced first aid course, like I teach here at our Polytechnic in Lethbridge, and I teach heavy equipment technicians. So for me to have that level of first aid, if someone in my shop gets hurt, I can help out. So not only can you use this training that we give you at the ski hill, but we also help out the community. So this weekend in Lethbridge, there's the Lasso Ultra running race, and we provide the first aid for that. So we help out the community that way also, not just at the ski hill. That helps us with our volunteer to provide money for our jackets and our equipment, our sleds. We like all that equipment is expensive. We have to have our own equipment to do the first aid training. So that all costs money. So we do bingos and that kind of stuff in casinos to help us out that way too.
Oh, interesting. And for a Canadian Ski Patrol volunteer, what does a typical day look like on the ski hill?
I would say a typical day. Um, what happens is we all meet. We're kind of fortunate on our ski patrol because we have what we call a mountain safety office that we're allowed to use the one side of it, and we're allowed to um, stay overnight there. So then at the bottom part of it, we have a patrol leader and assistant patrol leader where we meet and then they go into a meeting and we find out what the conditions are. So we find out if there's what the avalanche conditions are and what maybe our folks are going to have to expect out there. So our patrol leader and assistant patrol leader, they liaison with the pro patrol, and then they put that out to our people that are, so it might be like 12 people that day, and then once they have that information, we have to get permission from the pro patrol because they're the ones out there keeping us safe too. They do all the bombing and all that kind of stuff to make sure that we're not going to be caught in an avalanche. So we have to get permission to come up the hill from them. And then what happens after that is we all have duties for the day. So we're all assigned what we call hut duties. So at the very top of the ski hill, they have a little place that we can stay out of the elements, and we stay there for an hour. So then we're at the top of the hill ready. So if there's an incident, a call will come in from dispatch, and then they'll say, "Hey, we've noticed a participant has tripped and can you and has some difficulties getting down the hill. Can you go check that out?" And so then we'll go and ski down to that incident, and then we'll report once we get there to dispatch what's going on and what other things we might need to help us out. So maybe it's just a minor thing, and we say, "Hey, we can help this person ski the rest of the way down the hill," or "Hey, they're having breathing difficulties. We need a sled. We need this. We need stuff right away." So then there'll be another person waiting at the top of the hill to bring that sled down you and help you out.
Can you share any stories or experiences where ski patrol volunteers made a significant difference on the slopes?
Uh, I would I would say that for Castle Mountain, they tell us that they depend on us because there's only 5 or 6 of them, and so if it's a big snow day, they're busy checking out the slopes to make sure they're safe for everybody, and so our job to help them out is to provide that first aid and ski around and help them out that way. And so I would say that that's our significance to the ski hill, whether it be here at Castle Mountain or whether it be in Calgary, like or in Banff or anything like that. We're across Canada, and so that's what we do as volunteers is we're helping out the hill so that the pro guys can go and do all the um, safety stuff, and we can go around and help out with the first aid and maybe fixing fences and that kind of stuff.
And for someone who is interested in volunteering but unsure about their skills or experience, maybe they do ski or board at an intermediate level, what would you say to encourage them to join?
What I would say is if they're already at that level, um, we have very good trainers. Like I said, so we have an 80-hour course. and it's a blended learning. So we have an online course where you will do a lot of the a lot of the theory stuff online, and then the skills that we required you to have, you come into the classroom and our instructors are there, and we don't just have one instructor for the students. We have a few instructors in the classroom rotating around. And then that way we might like give a little spiel on this is how you deal with this situation. And then we have a bunch of instructors that come around and say we have to show them how to treat a broken collarbone. So then we have other instructors that come around and they say, okay, this is how you should treat this. This is how you should put it into a sling. And no, you're not doing that correct. So we'll have a bunch of instructors coming around and dealing with that situation to help with their training. So it's a very well-oiled machine in that respect.
And speaking of training, I understand that you have a training event coming up on September 12th and 16th. What can you tell us about this event?
It's at CASA in Lethbridge, and we've already put some information out there where CASA is located. And what it is, what we do there is there's myself and a few other people from our ski patrol. We have a person that's been on our ski patrol for like over 50 years. Myself, it's been 12 years, and so we have experienced people come to that. And what they do is we give them information just like what I'm telling you right now. A lot of them have questions. So what we require is we require you to come out 3 times in a month, and so that would be on the weekends. So what I do is I go like a Saturday, Sunday, and then maybe the next I skip a weekend, and then the next week I might be out there a Saturday. And then we tell them that, hey, some of the other requirements to pay for all this, you're required to do like 3 bingos. When we have a casino come up, and then when we have these events like the Lasso Ultra, we require you to do one of those events or 2 of those events. And so then we just give them more information on kind of what it would be like to be part of the ski patrol and all the training and how much you have to commit to volunteer for us.
And looking ahead, what are your goals for the Southern Alberta chapter of the Canadian Ski Patrol? And how can the community support your efforts? You mentioned bingo nights and casino nights.
Yeah, so casinos right now, we just did one over a year ago. So we do those it looks like every 4 years. So that definitely helps us out. We only do about 8 to 9 bingos in a whole ski season or a whole year. So that supports us. And then the Prairie Runners Association that puts on these runs, they support us uh, by financially supporting us by providing the first aid for their runs. Um, so that helps us out in the community. And I would say our wider Canadian Ski Patrol, right now, one of the goal sets with them is our learning management system. So that online system, that is now becoming a more robust system because it used to be run by volunteers. So it'll be a lot better for all patrollers involved because that is going to have a paid position for it now. Where in the past it was all volunteers, so it was very hard to like if all of a sudden I wanted to do my online training, I had to wait for a volunteer to let me into that system. So now what they've done is they're being a lot more progressive and hiring somebody to do that with the funds that we have now.
Well, that's great. Now, Tim Fyfe is the president of the Canadian Ski Patrol Southern Alberta Zone Association. Tim, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you very much.